Hello and welcome to the redone Dwarf Fortress tutorial for the Bad Clown Company. Me and Sam tried to do a tutorial earlier for this game, but for some reason the sound didn't come through, and it doesn't really matter, it came out to like 45 minutes anyway. So now I'm going to do a shorter one, much shorter one, by myself to try and help you all play Dwarf Fortress, which is one of the best games you will ever play. Alright, so first thing, this is going to be the opening menu. I'm going to start off with Create New World. And give it a chance to load. Now, this is where we choose kind of the qualities of the world we're going to build. World size, history, civilizations, etc. You generally want to have, for a good starter world, have world size medium, history short. Very short is a bit too much, so just too short. Number of civilizations medium, maximum number of sites high, beasts low, savagery low, that way you don't get a goblin siege before you can even... military. Mineral occurrence frequent. Everywhere can actually get in the way and can be a bit too much, so we want to stick with frequent. Now it's building up the world. The ASCII graphics get, very difficult to get used to, but after a while you won't even notice that they're just numbers and letters. Here, we kind of get a bird's eye view of our world, as if like obviously these gray triangles are mountains, woodlands, oceans, plains, etc. After a while, your world will have generated, and now you're going to have a bit of a chance to look around to make sure you like everything. That yellow X that's flashing in the center is your cursor, and you can use the arrow keys to move around, look around, and check that your world is okay. Basically, you want to look for, make sure it's not all ice, which down here is all ice, all that blue. Or it's not all mountains, or it's not covered in purple areas like that. Those places are a lot harder to start off and are for more advanced players. Once we're all set, we're going to hit enter to accept. Okay, now we are brought back to the main menu, and what you're going to hit is start playing. You want to choose Dwarf Fortress. Adventurer is a different form of the game, in which it's like an RPG. You play a single character and go throughout your world doing quests and everything. And Legends is like Adventurer, except instead of battles and everything, you get a chance to go through your generated world's history. But for now, we're going to do Dwarf Fortress. Now, this, for beginners, is one of the most confusing screens in the game, or at least I think. What we have here on this right screen is your world view. This is your entire generated world in this rectangle. And again, the flashing yellow X is your cursor. See, as we move around using the arrow keys, the cursor moves. Left of that, think of it like zoomed in about 10 times. This is just the region, so the entire area in that yellow X in your world view is this whole region area. And you have another flashing yellow X. This is where you choose a more specific embark site, which is where your civilization is going to start and where you're going to begin your construction of your fortress. Over here is local. This, again, is like a 10 times view of the region, and you get a much more precise area so you can choose exactly where you want your dwarves to embark. Now, generally, what you want to do is get a nice spot in the woodlands, which you can look for. Here, let me find. Down here is a good spot. Here's some trees. I'd also say up here, qualities of it. You'd like temperate forest. Temperature warm is good because then winter months aren't that bad, but temperate is okay too. Heavily forested, that way you have tons of trees. Other vegetation is thick, surroundings wilderness. Make sure it's not haunted or sinister or anything like that, because then the surroundings being like that make it much more difficult to play. Here we have very deep soil, an aquifer. It can be difficult to get an area without an aquifer, and aquifers can be very difficult to get around, but sometimes you'll have to compromise and just work around it. Shallow metals, deep metals, and flux stone is a thing you definitely want to look for. That will help you make pig iron and steel much later in the game. One thing you can do to help you find a desired location is hit the Find the Desired Location button, which is F. Then you choose, don't worry about X and Y dimensions, savagery, evil, not acceptable, elevation, medium, temperature, medium, fluxstone, yes, aquafire, no, river, yes, shallow metal, yes, deep metal, yes, and let's say soil, yes. Let's go some. Hit enter to do search, and now the game is going to be searching your entire world to find locations that fit this criteria. This could take a little while. Okay, now that your game is done searching, areas that meet your criteria, or at least most of your criteria, will be flashing in green. Or hit escape to go back. And now you can search through any of these areas and try and find one that's suitable to you. Let's go over to this side of the map. Now once, this seems like a good site, but once you find it, you go over to the local area and you can use U, K, H, and M to move this black square. That's going to be your actual gameplay area. You want to make sure it's in some water, you have access to a river, and you have some forest. There's no aquafire here, which is good. Let's check the elevation. You can use tab to switch through menus to tell you different things about it. There isn't much elevation. Generally, you'd like a good cliff face to be able to dig into, but that's alright. This seems like a good place, and we're going to start here. So now you're going to hit E for embark. Now you can choose prepare for your journey carefully. This allows you to pick every item your dwarf caravan uses and all of your dwarf skills individually. But that can take some time, and if you're a new player, it's not always, a good idea. You don't really know what you're doing. So I'm going to hit play now, where it'll choose all of your basic dwarf skills and all the items you'll need for you.